I think we're live. I think so.
Yeah? Are we live? I don't know. I can't see it. That's okay. Hey, look at that. We are live.
Oh,
What? How are
wow.
you guys doing this? Oh my goodness, that's me on the Facebook.
You're on the Facebooks.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Crazy.
We've already got some people watching.
Hello, Tabitha.
Luke and I. Oh, okay.
Yeah. One kiss for everybody. There you go. Everybody gets a kiss.
Do we have to share one since we're sharing the screen?
I guess so.
Congratulations.
Well, I mean, Shane and Tyler could go share a kiss, I'm sure.
Just open up, Shane, open up your door. Even Stella was like, what's happening?
You liar, you didn't come.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Shane, your thing should say Shane and Stella. Yeah, she's obviously going to be part of the video.
Oh, that's weird. I can hear myself.
Hi, everybody. Everybody watching.
Cool. Well, hello and welcome to our little fun little Q&A. So yeah, throughout the last, I think, week and a half, people sent in a bunch of questions, and
Excellent.
we're gonna try and answer them as best as we can. But first off, let's give a little round of intros. We've got let's see, I'll go how my screen has you guys laid out. We have Tyler Campbell, who plays Speck and Poe Raven,
That's me.
and Murray Feathertwig, and Chicker Jr.
Yeah.
And then we have Shane, plays Khufu and the Ruffleton Potsowitz, and of course Henry the Cat. And then we have Mr. Faulkenberry, Chris Faulkenberry, who plays the Kesmo and Buzzard Beak. And of course, Mr. Chicker is played by Luke Gerdes.
Oh, that's me. Hi, everybody.
And then we have
Somebody
Kelsey.
was behind me.
Kelsey, who plays Francis, and a slew of others. And then myself, who plays luckl and Bingo Flamingo. And this is my Birdcall hat. I think it looks great. So the cool thing is that we have questions that people already sent in, but we also have let's see, we have the questions sent here, and then people can actually comment live in the comment section. That's like over here on my right.
On my phone, it's below.
Oh.
Matt Sides is here.
Matt Sides, yeah,
He has a pet turkey.
Yeah, we read his book, his pet turkey book, with one of the live feeds not too long ago.
Nice.
Is it a wild turkey or is it like a domesticated turkey?
It's a fake turkey.
No, it's a joke. It's a
Oh.
book.
Okay.
I want to see a domesticated turkey, honestly.
Is that a thing?
They're white. They're white. That's the kind of turkeys you buy in the store. They're little white turkeys.
I had
I'm
nothing.
not kidding.
Store?
That's
Wait,
crazy.
Is there
Okay.
a turkey store I'm unaware of?
Yeah.
The ones you buy for Thanksgiving.
No, it's not turkey store.
The Butterball turkeys, yeah. Sorry.
I thought this is like a turkey pet store that I just
Right.
wasn't aware
Of course.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. So hello, everybody. Let's just kind of slowly let's get our feeties, our little feeties wet, our bird talons dip in the pool. Let's see, let's just how's everybody been? How's everybody doing with everything? I shaved my face today.
of.
It's
How was
weird.
that?
It's weird. I didn't
Me
like
too.
it. I didn't like it.
I shaved today too.
You
It's
shaved
just been a
today
very
too.
long day.
It's very strange. And yeah, and we posted the Birdie Bunch video, which was really fun.
Great.
It came out very great. I was very, very excited once it all came together.
Good job, you too.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that was all him.
It was a very long night, but I got it finished. I had to
It
put
was good.
something out. Let's see. Okay, so if y'all want just to kind of give backgrounds about yourself, let them know who you are. Tyler, if you want to, you can start if you'd like.
All right. So I have been working with these fine people for about 4 years now. I got brought in for the 2016 live performance about a month away from doing the show. So that was fun going, hey, do you have like the next month free? I was like, sure, I'm not doing anything, whatever. And I've been with Birdcall ever since. I've been doing puppetry for, gosh, somewhere around 10 years or something. No, more than 10 years. I don't know. Since I was
Longer than that.
I was going to say, it's been a long time. But I mean, I started in church puppets and worked my way up until we started working with Disney and then now Birdcall, obviously. But it's been super fun. I love it.
Even though we brought you in kicking and screaming.
Yeah, you
I
were.
wasn't kicking and screaming per se.
You were just.
I was just happy that you called and was like, hey, can you do this? I was like,
You
yes.
look like you have a lot of free time.
I did have a lot of free time. I went home
This
and
is how
like,
I pictured-
video games all day.
This is how I pictured Tyler. We're doing a show.
I know.
You need anybody?
I can help. I can help. I know things.
And how long? I can't remember. How long had you been at Disney at that point? It was.
At that point, it was about 8 months because I remember getting an invite to the Canines, Cats, and Cabaret that you guys were doing that August,
Oh yeah.
but I wasn't able to go because that was shortly after a rehearsal, I think. And so I was like, I don't know what this is still, but I wanted to go to see what you guys were doing.
Yeah.
But I found the website and the YouTube, watched all the videos that I could be like, this is really cool. I want to be a part of this in some way. I don't know how to. And then that fateful text, what you doing?
Again, when people always ask, how do you audition for Birdcall? I go, I can't really
Right
answer
place,
that.
right time?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Shane, tell these people who you are. Who are you, Shane? Shane McNeal?
Nobody knows.
Bring
He
that
doesn't
out.
even know.
No, I've been with Birdcall for, I don't know, Calvin, like a year and a half.
I think almost 2. Yeah, 2.
Okay, because I've been a puppeteer with Disney for about that same time.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was living up in Connecticut, where I had recently finished going through a graduate level program in puppetry at the University of Connecticut. And I've been kind of dabbling in puppetry since I was like 18, 19. So over 16 years, I think.
Wow.
I don't know. There you go.
Like the shadow puppets.
Oh yeah, talk about your shadow puppets.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite forms of puppetry is shadow puppetry. And I kind of got to showcase that with Birdcall when we did the live musical at, was it the Ritz Theater?
Yeah, in Winter Haven.
Yeah. Theater. So yeah, I spent a lot of time cutting paper and making it move.
that's
And very well.
Yeah, very well.
Thank you.
Mr. Faulkenberry, Mr. Chris Faulkenberry. I have to call you by
How
your
deep
like.
cut?
I have to like say your full name because I know the names on
Yes.
the screen, but still.
Yes. How deep cut do we want to go?
You do
Just whatever I want to say.
You do you.
Okay.
You're the surgeon in this one.
All right. Well, I've been doing puppetry since I was about 14 years old. So that's probably, I've been doing that for almost a good 30 years. I started off in church puppetry and I did that for a while. And then I came to work for a rather large corporation. And that's where I met Calvin. And I've known Calvin for a good 10 plus years. And we worked together doing puppetry stuff there. And what year was it that I actually started doing stuff? I can't remember. Was it 2014, 2015?
Well, I know. Well,
I may be way off.
you were doing art and stuff for us in like 2010, and then you built for us in 2012. That was like when you started building for us, building puppets.
That's 12. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one day I was building puppets. I built like a Khufu for a Cats and Cabaret show. Is that what it was? It was like a live show. And then you did the musical one year, and you decided, hey, want to do Buzzard Beak? And I said, okay. And then recently I started taking over Kesmo,
Yeah.
and it's been a lot of fun too. So
it's been an experience, like, well, especially too, like, you came in just building puppets, and then we were like, hey, so but you're also a puppeteer, and can you sing? Okay, great. We're gonna put you on stage. That's how
that's still up for debate.
I don't know. People are always impressed with the Birdcall of Death song. Mr. Luke Gerdes, tell us a little about yourself.
Oh, well, I was born in church. I was just noticing, I was looking at everybody on the feed, and I was like, oh, besides Calvin, I've been with Birdcall the longest.
That's true, yeah.
Of the group that's here right now. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, is that making a veteran? Oh, no. But time does fly. But I joined Birdcall 2010.
Oh, yeah.
Just doing help. Like, there was one time, again, it was kind of like with Tyler, like we were doing like a little video, and you guys needed a third person. So you just called me up and said, hey, what are you doing? Can you drive down here? And we're going to mess around in this guy's house with a couple puppets with Bingo and luckl and Fickle. Before Bingo was even a puppet, he was just a plastic flamingo.
He was our cheap version of the puppet.
Yeah. And then, through the years, I was able to help out with so just different shows around the park, like the area, and different videos we were doing. And then we did the Cats, Canines, Cabarets, and I subbed in for Khufu for one of those. I also got to do Salmonella, a little bird with the bird flu. It was real funny back then, not so much right now. And then Mr. Chicker, the boss, jumped into my lap, and I've been him ever since. And then I just now took over Pinky, well, temporarily, we'll see. Something like that. I've been given the opportunity to portray a couple other throughout the time, and it's been a lot of fun. But I've been there 2010, maybe even earlier. Time has no meaning to me anymore.
Yeah, it's true. At this point, time has no meaning.
Yeah.
Miss Kelsey, you want to give a little background of who you is?
Hi. I play Frances primarily right now, and I've been doing that since 2015. They needed some help with the hospital visits that we used to do, where we visit kids at Florida Hospital. And I've been Frances ever since. Done three of the live shows, but been with Disney puppeteering, Universal puppeteering for about, 6-7 years. Who knows? That's me.
And she's also big on TikTok. Let's talk about that.
Oh, I guess. Yeah, follow me on TikTok, One Brady Lady. Although if you're watching this, probably already do. But
although Shane's getting a butt count following too.
Shane,
It's
go
true.
follow Shane.
He's TikTok.
What? He's two Brady ladies.
What is it? Pine Box Productions?
Pine Box on Instagram. Mr. Stitches on TikTok. I've got too many.
That's Mr. Stitches. Okay.
All the streaming.
Stitches. Right.
All the socials.
I'm working on it.
It's what the kids are
I read books.
That's true.
I'm unfortunately not as creative as you two, so.
Well, and I'm Calvin, and I created the show, so there you go. Go to our website if you want to read about my history. I mean, come on. And if you have any questions about who I am, then just send them your way. Like, who the heck is that guy? That'll be the question. Last time we saw him, he had facial hair.
you want to hit the ones that are in the comments
Yeah, let's see. Let's
first?
see who has sent some comments.
Um,
Kelsey's
my
kind of.
friend Ben said something funny. Nope, down. Hi from you. He stayed up. He lives in the UK, and he asked me if this was okay to ask. So.
I love the UK.
That's pretty late over there.
I know.
Mr. Chicker.
Wow.
Mr. Chicker had a assignment in the UK a couple years
That's true.
ago.
Mr. Chicker was in the UK. That was a good one.
Yeah.
No, Benjamin Cartwright asked me personally, can you recommend a good union, Calvin? That was. And you know what? This is a great opportunity. I can kind of clear the air on this. We got feedback from someone we don't know at all, and it was very harsh. But the one that I did get was not as explicit in its language about myself and the show. Like, they really just did not want me to know about it. But they kept explaining that the show Birdcall, it pushes a political agenda about unions, and I thought that was very comical. And I shared it on my personal Facebook with friends, and it kind of blew up. So if only the Facebook and YouTube could blow up like that did, that would be great.
It's all lighthearted.
It's all lighthearted.
It's all good.
But that's
Subscribe,
what
like.
that was what he
agenda.
was joking about. Let's see.
Yeah, the avian agenda.
Let's see. Oh, okay. And Luke actually. Oh, good. I'll read the little back and forth. Fredward asked, "Would you think Birdcall could be better on a streaming platform as a TV show or a web series on YouTube?" And I agree with Luke. Birdcall is destined to be a streaming full-length show. Yeah, the YouTube idea is just to kind of get
gain a
bigger following. So that's kind of where that is. Let's go through some of the questions people had sent in before to kind of get this started, and then people watching can again comment into the section. Let's start with what's it like performing in front of a huge crowd for the first time? So I mean, that could be for anything.
In general?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Scary.
It can be a little
fun.
nerve-wracking.
It's like that kind of I don't know, adrenaline, that kind of, you either are somebody who lives for it and kind of absorbs it and uses it through your performance, or you let it get the best of you, and hopefully I'm both of those people, so
Right.
Yeah.
But personally, I think performing live, this is more of a generalized thing, that's for the first time, but with a puppet is different than if you're performing live as you, or as a performer.
You have something
Yourself.
a facade to hide behind, I don't know, as with a puppet.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of it. Yeah, I think for me, it's a lot of times it's just kind of been just get up and do it and don't think about it. Like, don't think about people being out there. And usually it's not until like the bows is when I realize, oh, there were people out there. Like, that's how it almost feels. And that just helps me personally. And I remember learning from certain people, like, don't let their reactions be what motivates you. You motivate yourself within the story and the scene. And some people like to pander to that, like, oh, they got to laugh, well, I'm going to keep going. And you're like, share the stage. And I get if it's one thing if you're doing improv and stuff like that. But when it's a set actual show, I always feel like just.
But it does give you energy, though. When
it does energize you.
If it's an audience that's really responding.
Oh, absolutely.
It also depends on the type of show and the venue and etc.
It's
Which one?
it's always been interesting to perform live. Like, I've been performing live since I was a child, and you never get used to it because, like, I get the same reaction when I was 4 on my first stage to I'm now 38 and I get the same reaction. It's just this anticipation, this fear, but it's mixed with anxiety. It's mixed with like excitement just to get out there and perform because somebody's going to watch you. You've spent weeks and weeks getting yourself ready for this moment. And it's like instantly once you step out, if you are prepared and ready to go, all that fades away and you
Yeah.
just become in the moment. And just like how it says, it's not until the bowels come back that you really like, oh, this happened. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, instantly like, oh, I'm no longer Mr. Chicker or whatever part you're playing. I'm now Luke taking a bow. And it's like, oh, now they're all looking at me. So it's
Yeah.
just that love of live theater. There's no other feeling of it, is that once you're in a character and you're performing, you're in it and things just kind of fade away magically.
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially
Yeah.
when you get to work with, like, especially you guys working on stage. I don't ever feel worried or lost that I'm going to get out there and if I miss something or anybody else misses something, we all have each other's backs. It's not just kind of a, well, like, because I've worked with people like that before where, you're on stage. And that's when I think the anxiety kicks in, is if, you don't work as a team. And I'm not saying Birdcall, I'm saying like other shows I've done where those people think you messed up your line, so we're moving, and you're like, no, we got to work together because it's a cohesive experience. So that I have been thankful for doing Birdcall over the years with everybody.
So, Benjamin has actually offered to pay for us to come to the UK. Is that what his question says?
Well, hold on.
Right
Let's
here.
Done. Let's go.
Sounds like it to me. Let's go.
It says,
Oh, wait, I may have read that wrong.
hold on. Oh, no,
I think
Mr.
you just
Chicker
volunteered
left.
for someone.
Let's see. Yeah, Benjamin asked, if it wasn't so expensive to bring everything over, do you think Birdcall would ever play in the UK? Oh, absolutely. I would
We're
love to
going
do
to
that.
Edinburgh.
Yeah, he suggested
Let's
like
do it.
the Fringe Festival, Edinburgh.
Yeah, let's go to Edinburgh.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd be brilliant. Oh, and
London.
let's see. Someone said it would be a perfect West End production. So there you go. That's where we're going. That's where we're
Make
headed.
it happen.
Once live theater is a thing again.
Yeah, once live theater's the thing again, we can do that. Let's see. So another question we had sent in: which puppet is hardest to perform?
Which version do you want to go with?
I mean, I'll say
Because if
And
we're
the
talking like
cats.
Gen 1,
I guess
they're all-
And it's also up to personal preference
How
too.
about Shane and Henry? Like,
Oh,
are we talking
yeah.
physically?
Well, that's his hardest to perform. I think that's what it's going. I think Kelsey makes a good point. Henry the cat, Tony Lay built this great. We needed the cat character in the show, but we didn't want to have a small puppet version because then size and stuff. And so we're like, could you build like a giant version of him? Not where it's like an actual, almost like an Audrey 2. We were like, we want something that's feasible but easy to store. And we designed this whole thing where he was flat, but he looked 3-dimensional forward. And so it had like the head and then the neck, and then it had the paws and a tail
So
and
it's
blinked and everything.
3, 4
It's like-
people?
1,
3
2,
people.
yeah, 3 people. But Shane had to like hold that whole thing up, and you killed it with it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, there's a learning curve. And there wasn't a lot of space either, which factors into the performance for 3 people behind the fence prop piece there.
Because we were like working with like something like maybe 4.5 feet, maybe with 3 people shoved in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Julie Dansby says Henry. Julie puppeteered Henry for a show.
yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
He's big. He's a big one. And just like the way the
Speaking of a
paws.
cat,
Oh, wow, a real cat. We planned that, ladies and gentlemen. We planned that.
How many people are there controlling that tail?
But yeah, I think too so Henry definitely, but I think the one puppet I never like if I have to do to dub in is if Scott Hune, who's supposed to be here but couldn't make it unfortunately, but he's well, who plays Foul Owl. So he sends his love. No, I don't like ever having to perform the Foul Owl puppet. I never do. Something about it, the way it sits on me, I've got such like a thick forearm, obviously, so it's hard to get it into the sock that he's fitted into, and I just commend him every time. I'm like, I don't know how you're getting that thing so quickly and make it move the way
It's
he
like
does.
boom.
Yeah. So a lot of times if we're doing like dub over stuff, I'll be like, who's got like Kelsey definitely has the skinnier arms, so can you do that? Granted, Scott has about the same size arm as I do, so I don't know. He's just used to it.
He's
Yeah.
a mad scientist when
It's
it comes
true.
to it.
But yeah, I think luckl and bingo for me they're not difficult to do. So I
mean,
can't.
I feel like taking the question from a different angle, I think it's difficult to play two characters at once, I would think. Like, if your characters are both on stage at once for a live performance, and you have
voicing
to,
them both at the same time.
Yeah.
voice it while someone's on the other side of the stage.
I know.
That's always fun. It's funny because I remember during the reality check number, Pinky and Mr. Chicker were on stage, and Luke would turn up stage because Chicker's angry. But it was funny because I know where the voice is coming from, but Shane's puppeteering the worm. So it was just this funny back and forth to see like Chicker back there very like, angry, knowing Luke's back there going, "Hey guys, it's me, Pinky the Worm." Like it was a funny visual to me personally, but the audience, won't pick up on it right away. So, but I mean, do you all have
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I go along with that. Like just because the characters that I perform, I don't have a lot of partnering in any of them. They're all very single, so it's all just me working with it. But it is that when you have multiple characters on stage, having to do like voices, and sometimes they're talking to each other, so you have to remember who's saying what at what point. But in that vein, just watching people do partnering, if you have somebody who's doing your right arm or your left arm while you're performing the main body, that is so impressive to me, and I know how hard it is, but it comes off so seamlessly, and that's just a good puppeteering skill for everyone, but it's just so difficult to have two people trying to control one puppet and be in sync and make it real.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to watch.
I completely agree. I definitely, and especially when you work well with someone, when you see two people work well together, and you can just see that. Like Cody Hoyen did Buzzard's right hand with Mr. Faulkenberry, and they had to do that whole dance where they were like walking in time with each other, and they're both tall guys, so to see like these long-legged crawdaddies pretty much going across the stage, it was very impressive, I will say. So
I like to call it the roadkill tango.
there you go. Yes, yes. I completely agree.
That's very fun.
We do have a question from Phil Voiles. I feel like we should answer this. Why?
Because it just is.
Yes.
Is it more of an opinion or a question?
I mean, let's find out. Why is Muppets Tonight the best Muppet show, and why did it only last 2 seasons? Discuss.
Because it's great, and because short-sighted executives.
Exactly. There you go. I enjoyed the show.
All those people are gone, and now it's just nice executives on TV who want to buy a new puppet show. Wink, wink, wink. Nice.
And there's all those new streaming services coming out there.
That's true.
Looking for content.
I know.
Looking for content. Hello.
There's a streaming service called Peacock. How are we not on it?
Exactly. Oh.
There's a long story.
No, there's a long story with me with Calvin and Mr. Peacock. Let's see. So let's here's another question. Will the cast perform a live read through again like before, or even do a live reading when you are all together?
I liked that a lot.
It was fun.
I'm open for it.
So
yes.
So yeah, I guess when we can, we will.
People are asking for it, so why not?
It's true.
It's up to you.
Oh God,
we're willing.
Yeah, of course. I'm always the one's like, y'all want to do it? Everybody wants to do it.
You've got a script or two lying around.
I'm sure. Yeah, we've got some scripts that we haven't produced yet. Well, good. We answered that. We kind of already answered that. Who is luckl-duckl girlfriend? That would be Kiki Kookaburra, and we will meet her maybe sometime later in the year. Who knows? What? Oh, we already answered that.
Oh,
John Hall, 2020. Am I the biggest Birdcall fan? I'm just gonna say yes. Or if you have to ask. I don't know what to tell you.
Depends how close you are to the camera.
I tell you what. What's the guy's? What's the name?
His name John Hall, 2020.
John.
Is that from Instagram?
Yeah,
Tell you
that's
what,
it.
John.
Yeah.
Send us an email with a picture with all of your Birdcall merch.
All 5 items.
We'll be
I
the
know.
judge of it.
Right.
Yep.
And also let me know where you
Stickers,
got that, because
magnets.
that's amazing. Let's see. Oh, here's Asael. He has sent us a lot of fan art, which has been great. When will it be time to return to performing Birdcall the musical on stage? I don't know.
Give us your mind.
Yeah,
please.
exactly. That's a yeah.
When we get to the UK, because Benjamin's going to pay for
Yes.
it.
Ben's hooking us up. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Edinburgh. Not kidding.
We can do it, yeah. Here you go, Tyler. Quackers J Duck wants to know, why is Speck a sucker for dynamite?
I don't know if sucker is the right word so much as it's
You're
just you're the suckers for it. No. Yeah, I don't. Sucker may not be the right word, but he's a pyromaniac. It's in his blood. He has to seek out the dynamite. It's just who he is.
Explosions
As a
are his
bird.
Birdcall.
Exactly. He has no bird call except for the explosions. It's
True.
just what he does.
I mean, sounds like a sucker to me. Chef Will Madi
Made it. Chef Will made it. It's all.
Oh,
in
I
there.
can see it's like a username. What is your favorite meal?
Oh, is he gonna make it for us?
Ooh, great.
Are we asking the people, or are we asking like
Let's just
from
let's
the
answer,
bird?
let's answer as ourselves.
Don't ask the bird.
Yeah, don't ask the bird.
Which is the most expensive?
Yes.
What's the most
Hmm.
expensive?
He
They
is a
love
chef.
lobster.
What's my answer?
Kelsey's is tacos, and that's all I can say.
I was gonna say
Don't even.
foie gras.
Bless you.
I don't. Foie gras.
Bless you.
She likes the
I
gourmet
don't know what that
tacos.
is.
Foie gras tacos.
Yes. Luke, do you have a favorite meal?
Ironically, I love chicken
Oh.
in any forms. I really love chicken.
You are what you eat.
There you go. Yeah.
I really do love it.
Mr. Faulkenberry.
I'm a Southern kid. I love myself some chicken and dumplings.
Oh, there you go.
Some good stuff.
Shane.
That's my go-to meal.
Shepherd's pie.
Ooh.
Let's go to the UK.
My mom makes the best shepherd's pie.
Well, there you go. Tyler.
Uh-huh.
A good seafood dinner.
Oh.
Yeah,
Kelsey's allergic, so
yeah, I'm sorry,
she
Kels.
can't go.
Unless it's
You
like
sit at the
put,
under end.
you put food in your mouth and then you open your mouth. You're like, you like seafood, and you go blah.
Oh boy.
Hear the roaring
It's
and
gonna be
the
a
laugh.
it's gonna be a long night.
They're all laughing.
Yes, they're
Oh,
laughing.
that's
Let's see.
Mm-mm.
Let's see. How much call would a bird call if a bird call could call birds? That's a.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess 20%. Anybody else have any answers on that?
42.
42.
42.
Yeah, see,
It is the meaning of life.
Shane, do you have
Answer to
an
everything.
estimate on this?
Rubber duck.
Tyler, do you have a
We're going 67%.
67? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I swung way low. Kels? No?
What?
Okay. Let's see. Phil wants to know, does Francis do drive-by or fly-by sightings during the humans' quarantine? I know luckl does.
What luckl does the flyby?
He does the
poopings.
flybys, and he checks in to the houses. He's seen a lot of.
He goes to his friends' houses and poops on their cars to make sure they remember that he loves them.
I love you.
That was luckl. That was luckl.
Could you not tell?
Give him a car wash.
Yeah.
This is turquoise. How
Francis
did
is
you
two.
not know that?
Frances will order things from friends so that she can see them, whether she needs it or not.
Great. Great while she's furloughed. That's great.
There hasn't been anything I haven't needed. It's all been legit.
Let's see. If Birdcall were to be a series, what kind of stories would you do? Sketch comedy or full length stories? We don't do the sketch comedy thing. That's not our bag. Jasmine asks,
Yeah, we're funny though.
when you guys are in character, does your voice get tired first or your hands?
That's great.
Oh,
I think
Good question.
I'll say okay. I'll start it off. For me, if I do luckl, my voice gets tired first because it sits in such a weird register, and then bingo, physically I get exhausted because you're doing both hands. I think that was how
Well,
it is
there
for me.
happens sometimes when you're like, I don't feel like recording bingo tonight because my voice is tired.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. I'll do luckl and then be like,
'Cause
bingo's got to be tomorrow. So, Kels. Which one gets tired first?
Probably voice. Yeah, I'll say voice. Like when we did the hospital visits, we'd go from room to room, and they go on for a long time, but you kind of forget how long you've been doing it because you're having a good time. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to talk tomorrow. How long have we been doing this? 2 hours?
True.
I don't know. Yeah, there's my answer.
Tyler.
I think it kind of depends a little bit because when it comes to doing the musical when we're on stage, depending on how much we're talking in the scene and whatnot, I feel like my arm gets tired just because I'm at this position and I don't really have a whole lot of support in my shoulder or elbow. And so if I can find a moment to, give a little pensive thought or something, I have to just because I'm starting to die.
And there's ways to cheat. We all find ways to cheat where it's like, I'm gonna look down here, like you said.
You're right. But then, like Kelsey said, if we're doing, the hospital visits, I remember the one that just she and I went on, we got done. I was like, I can't. This hurts. Stop now. It was 2 hours.
Shane,
It was a little rough.
Shane, do you have a preference or?
I guess I'd say arms are probably going to get tired first, but only because I feel like the voices I do, the characters I do right now, are kind of all in my register. So they don't cause me any discomfort.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
We'll just keep recording you. Shane can go.
Yeah,
Go. Mr. Faulkenberry.
But when it comes to Cosmo, my voice gets tired with that one pretty quickly because I'm relatively new to it, so I'm still trying to learn tips and tricks. And he's kind of got a little bit of a rash to his voice, but the puppet in general is kind of light. Buzzard's a huge puppet, and he typically will tire me out as long as if I don't keep moving and finding those cheats, he will tire me out. Now, if I'm singing, that's a different story too. But in general, for Buzzard, it's performance. He gets tired. In Cosmo, it's the voice.
Okay. Mr. Luke.
Yeah, my voice is because all my characters, for some reason, have this real in my back of my throat voice. Like it's Sal, Shaker, and Pinky. None of them is actually a natural voice.
Yeah.
So I have to really strain my throat. So after a while, it really does hurt. Especially Sal. Salmonella is this bird who is constantly sick. So he's constantly like coughing and having his real raspy voice. So it really kind of destroys my vocal cords. But I've been doing it for so long that it feels fine. The hand, again, it goes back to like when you're doing it, your hand really doesn't feel like it's just second nature, but that voice, that'll kill your throat.
Oh, I'm sure. Just hearing it, like when we recorded the album and we had to keep like doing take after take, I'm just like, this isn't a normal recording session because, you singing Chicker's voice for that long. That is rough. Let's see. Oh, someone says, I can hear some Chicker in your voice now, Luke. There you go.
Password, what? Good to see you.
Matt had a question about mailing stuff, and if the birds use Amazon or eBay, they actually use the Eagles
We use the carrier pigeon.
carrier pigeon
That's-
and the royal. Was it the
Reg-
Order of the Eagle?
Regal Eagle.
Regal Eagle.
Yeah, they have
Brethren.
Let's see. When performing on stage, do you use monitors or not? No, we do. If we do musical, we always just. It's very Avenue Q style where you see the performer with the puppet. But I mean, we've done some things where we've used monitors for live stage stuff. But recently, we did the little touring show with them, and we didn't have monitors, but the show was tracked because we weren't doing it live, and we had to have it like under a time limit, so it was good to track it and not do that. So maybe that hopefully that answers your
And
question.
some of that is a podcast.
Yeah. Benjamin says, Chris, show us your cat.
Yeah, show us your cat.
She's way over there.
If she comes back, she'll
come back.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. Stephanie asks, if you could work/perform with a different bird friend, who would it be and why? So I guess like another character.
Like one that already exists, or like a
Yeah.
Yeah,
One in the show, or one in the show. Okay.
Kelsey, you go.
Well, okay. Here's how I'll answer. I like assisting. Like there's a song that we do. I don't know what to say, and that's my favorite thing to do in the whole show, where I'm assisting luckl, where he's got feet. I'm the other wing, and Wally's there. So I guess I enjoy also performing with luckl or bingo or something. That's fun for me. I wouldn't want to be them, but I like helping. Is that good?
Shane, do you have one?
Okay. Now, I'm assuming with this question, this all-powerful being can say, snap, you're going to do this character now.
Yeah.
No problem.
His name is
I
Scott.
would love to do Francis.
Oh, there you go.
If possible, which it never would be.
I mean,
But
All right.
I mean, it is.
have filled in with filming and stuff. Francis is she's very fun.
There you go.
Watch my back.
He's coming for you.
What happened to Kelsey?
All right. Shane has a wig on. I don't know what you mean. She's been here the whole time. I don't know. I'm like looking at the Birdcall poster to be like, who would I pick? I did enjoy. This is a random one. But I did play him sometimes, like when we were starting out, would be Ruffleton, the bird union guy, because I like how almost ditzy he sounds a lot of the times. I just like the informal use of grammar that he doesn't like in the musical when he's like, "R is us," like that. I just really like him because before, like, he was built and it was built as the expectation was that I would use that as the Kesmo puppet, and I said no, and we redeployed him as Ruffleton. So I do like that one. That would be my answer.
Yeah. I gotta go Abigail Coots.
That's what I was gonna say.
because it's just a fun character, and also it would be playing off of Scott Hewitt, who's not here, so I can go after him. But like that's kind of like I love in real life just kind of ribbing Scott and stuff like that and going after him, like I go after everybody. But like Scott's just a fun foil to play off again. So having Abigail going off of Foul Owl in the same way, it would be a lot of fun.
She's the shrill
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend. For anyone who doesn't know.
Yes. Let's see. Who? Mr. Faulkenberry was going to say Abigail. Yes. And then Tyler.
I've always had a weird fascination with Mr. Magpie.
Oh yeah.
He just cracks me up, and just his whole Southern thing and his obsession with nickels.
Shadow Nichols.
Not nickels.
Let's see. We've got. Let's say that you couldn't use birds. What animal would you use in place of birds? I just wouldn't do the show. That's what I said.
We would write an entirely different show.
Yeah, it'd just be a different show at that point.
I have this I have this idea for this singing frog. Nobody's
I
ever
knew,
done
I,
it
I
before.
knew you were going to go with the frogs. I knew you were going to go with the frogs.
Got a
Giraffe.
banjo.
I want everyone in full giraffe, like from Lion King musical, like stilts.
And there you have giraffe.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be working at Target.
Hey, this is
All I see now is all of us under a pit, like with our arms stretched as high as we can go, with this just long necked giraffe. It's still not working.
But still running a radio station. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Magda asks, I'm sorry for bothering you. Oh, it's okay.
That's what we're here for.
But what was your favorite thing about making the Birdcall musical?
hanging out with my friends every night, forcing them to hang out with me while I tell them what to do.
I think I enjoyed getting to see the characters all together on stage, like interacting, and actually there was that breath of life to it because, we film stuff and it's kind of in chunks or sporadically out at different points. But I think the fun part for me was always seeing them all interact at the same time and in real time, and then of course getting the audience reaction for what we're doing. I think that was that's probably my favorite part.
I think the camaraderie of, even though we would spend most of the days working with each other to go to rehearsal, it is completely different because there we were actually having fun.
Yeah.
And of course, doing any kind of show, rehearsing for it ends up usually being a good time. This was just different. It was, everyone came together and it was, we're going to put the best foot forward and it's going to be so good. And it was.
Yeah. Mr. Faulkenberry, do you have a rebuttal?
Musical. I just really just enjoyed getting out there and performing.
Yeah.
And just seeing, especially getting to go when you're not on stage and going in your backstage and you get to watch the stuff that you normally don't get to see. And just seeing everybody just rock it and work their craft like nobody else does.
Oh, yeah.
It's just fun watching everybody just succeed and just have fun doing it.
I like that. Luke?
Mine is just having an audience right there, because we had done videos, we'd done other performances and stuff like that was always put out there, and people would watch and they would listen. We would get feedback like, oh, I love your stuff and stuff like that. But there was always just something like the minute you're live and there's the audience right there and you see them and you're part of it with them. I mean, that's why I love live theater, because it's just great to see, hey, there's these people who have came to see us and they're enjoying and they're having fun, they're laughing and they're clapping along. So just the first time we ever did it and the first time we walked on from the audience is very memorable to me.
Oh, yeah. Shane, Mr. Bag O' Chips.
I mean, first and foremost is the people, the cast. You guys, I've worked on a lot of different projects in my time, and you guys are awesome to work with. But close
You hear that, other projects?
He said, "You hear that, other
Shane
projects?"
McNeal says we're the best.
You're up there. You're up there.
Shane will never work again.
Please let Birdcall succeed. I literally have nothing else now.
Let's see. What happened with all the comments? Oh, they're there. What is it?
About the favorite line.
Where?
Over.
Oh, I see. Okay. What all of your Brooklyn asked, of all your favorite lines from the musical or videos you guys have made, which one's your favorite?
I already know my answer.
Go for it. Go for it, Shane.
Oh, Tyler knows it because we were just talking about this a few days
Yeah.
every time. It is without a doubt just when Magpie screams "Mine Nickels" in the 12th Christmas video.
My nickels.
It's so good.
There, and to tag on to that, Jasmine asked, "Has anyone ever forgotten a line on stage?"
Can I tell a story, Mr. Faulkenberry? I don't know if he's
I was going to say it anyway. Go ahead. I can give you a reason why too.
It's my favorite. And I mean, I've flubbed plenty of lines, and I think it was because what you did, Mr. Faulkenberry, I will say, was. I mean, I remember looking at Tyler and just like, and then playing it off as luckl. Okay, so this is 2016, we did the musical, and it's during Birdcall of Death, and it's a big, song. It's this like big band song, and Buzzard singing and trying to catch luckl, Fallow, and Speck. And then you have these roadkill dancers with these spears, and so we're going through, and we're supposed to like be tricking Buzzard back into the cage to kind of get him caught because he's so caught up in the musical number. And it's very wordy. It's a very wordy song on purpose because he's supposed to be very like scatting around and stuff. And
with a lot of footwork.
Exactly, and extra footwork in your puppeteering. And so it's this big stage, and then we had the cage that would fly in, and so Faulkenberry had to be on his mark for them to clear it, and a lot of stuff that went into it. So we're like dancing backwards with him to like trick him into the cage and then jump forward. And Tyler was playing Speck, and so Speck's supposed to jump out of the way, and then we turn and look at him for Buzzard's little rap portion at the end, I guess you could call it. And it's wordy. It's very wordy. And so we back him up, and the cage comes down just in time, and it's supposed to be that it's time to toast your going or roast the da-da-da, like really quick. And we look over, we sang our part, and then we look at Buzzard, and Faulkenberry with Buzzard just goes, "Aah!" And I looked as luckl, and I looked at Speck, and I was like, oh, like that. And it didn't, but the thing is, we knew what it was.
The intent of the song is the same.
Exactly.
The intimidation is there.
So if anything, the audience just thought, oh, he's just screaming in joy, like he's like, ah! And I laughed internally so hard, like it hurt. And after the show is done, I didn't say anything about it, and he was the one who came up and was like, yeah, so what do you think about that? And I said, I like the new lyrics. I think they're great. I think
it's not so much, if you forget your lines, that's fine. It's what you do to cover.
True, yeah.
That was great.
That I still think that's good. Because I've done it plenty of times where I've flubbed a line flat out and just like you play it off as your character, instead of just like, let me stop and try again. That to me is funnier if you, in character, you're like, oh, what I should have said.
Well, and to tag on to that, Ben asked if there was anything that ever went wrong on stage. Wasn't there a time, like, you were getting pulled off stage for the end of Act 2? Was that the second time we did the show? You were filling? You were just, like, spouting off lines?
Oh.
Yes, because the curtain was supposed to close.
Right.
So it's supposed to be the end of Act 1, and
oh, sorry, end of Act 1.
And luckl is, spoiler, goes to work for Grizzle at KLAW, and he's singing his whole reprise of Act 1. And the cronies or whoever was supposed to like pull him off stage, like this dramatic like exit, and the curtains close, and that's the end of it. But they didn't get out there in time, and then the thing locked, and I'm supposed to stand on it and just rolls, and I'm just supposed to balance. Well, I mean, obviously you're sitting like this, so your balance is already kind of off. And they didn't come back to push me, and then the techs came out and started pushing me, and I almost fell forward and jumped back, and I start kind of like, luckl was kind of giving them crap, like, really? This is what we're doing? Wow, what a terrible way to start my career at this new station, like, full on. And then the audience is like just sitting there, they clapped, and then I'm just slowly being wheeled off and like teetering. That was awkward.
Was that the same night where we had some audio issues and they didn't play our finale? So luckl just goes,
that sure was that night.
That was, yeah, the...
What did...
Faulkenberry's having flashbacks.
I don't work.
We all were.
PTSD.
So the epilogue happens, and all the luckily the stories got tied up, which was great. I will say that. But the finale song, we're all in place, ready to go, and then the music just goes da da, like the last cue. Somehow it jumped, and then
it was going to bows or something.
well, yeah, and so I just looked. I was like, "Well, time to go home." And I ran off stage, and I didn't give anybody a cue to leave. They were all like, "Oh, Calvin left," and he starts the song, so I guess we're done. And I remember just sitting backstage so upset because they couldn't fix it, and it was this awkward, like,
but
let's take a bow. Okay.
The audience was such a good sport about it, though.
Yeah, they picked up.
That was a night where it was mostly like friends and family, and we were like, sorry.
That was opening night.
Yeah.
It got better from there.
But sorry, to backtrack, Shane had his favorite line. Luke, did you have a favorite line from anything we've done?
I have a couple. Because, like, I mean, obviously the cockadoo what now?
Oh, yeah.
That's always a favorite. But there was one time, like, we were just messing around for video, and I had Khufu on, and he's this, thrill-seeking but very monotonous character. And I just looked up and I said, I enjoy habanero pepper.
I remember that.
It's just the idea that this
and it
boring
made the
guy
cut.
eats the hottest pepper ever.
It made the cut. That was my favorite, is when they edited it, we got it, and it has the line of Koopa going, I like a nice habanero pepper. I forgot about that.
Yeah. It was just a random thing, but I loved it.
Right. Tyler, did you say your favorite?
No, it was from when we did at the Me Theater, so 2018. You wrote it in. I still crack up at this line every time. I absolutely love when Dylan comes in and goes, Jesus Christ, you'll want a piece of this.
Jesus Christ.
It's so, the way Danny performed, like, it's supposed to be just this incredibly dry line, and he delivers.
He's a pizza, to clarify, he's a pizza delivery boy delivering a pizza.
Yes.
Little Sophia Alfonso's daughter's pizzeria. Jesus Christ, you'll want a piece of this. I was crying the first few nights that we did.
Well, because it's hard to be on stage and not laugh, especially when he changed it up just a little bit every night.
Okay, every night there was just some little tweak that he would add in the name of the pizzeria, and I'm behind the booth just.
But
I have to be quiet.
we had
So
somebody
funny.
comment one of their favorite lines. Matt Bingle, he said from the Tiki Room video that we posted where the birds are auditioning for the Tiki Room, and it starts raining, and luckl says, sorry, I didn't realize I was doing my rain dance. I get those mixed up. Do you have flood insurance? He says he died of laughter. We killed a man.
I do enjoy that one. Especially because luckl looks so, like, the way that he stops and he looks at the director and he just goes, oh, do you have flood insurance? Like, he's so, like, sure about it. Like, I'm sure you have this covered already because of the situation. Mr. Faulkenberry, did you have a favorite line?
Honestly, it was from the Tiki Room. I really enjoyed singing the luau.
Oh, yeah. So here's one. Which Birdcall performer is most like their own character? On some days, I want to say I'm more like Dylan than I want to admit.
And that's not even your character.
And that's not even my character. No, I feel like I have the. I think I have the side of luckl down that is, I don't know, a dreamer. I guess that I share that with him. I don't know what the heck I would share with Bingo. I think we'll say the sharp tongue. We'll go with that. That'll be
The sharp wit.
We'll go with his quick.
Well, do we
wit.
think anyone else, like, who do we think is most like their character?
I think Shane also enjoys a spicy habanero pepper.
Ew.
You're going to tease your hair out, right? To kind
I'm
of
debating, but
to
there's
match it.
the thing. Wait.
I think Kelsey's very similar to Francis.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
she's pretty bossy.
I knew I was waiting. That's fine. I'll take it.
Oh, you mean an organized leader? Yeah.
Thank
Like,
you.
She wears
loves to
glasses as
label.
well.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank
she labeled our entire office, so we're all good to go now. Luke, how do you feel? Do you feel similar to Mr. Chicker in any way whatsoever?
Personally, I don't think so, but I have a feeling all of you think differently.
No, I really don't. I've never. We said this the other day. Oh, are you
My
gonna say
dad
anything?
asked. Okay,
Well, no,
so
are you gonna say the
yes,
John Cleese?
my dad asked a question, and he said if they made a movie of Birdcall with live actors, who do you think would play each actor? So Calvin and I had a conversation about Mr. Luke Gerdes last night because we were watching
Brad Pitt? Yeah, I got it.
the Muppet Show. We were watching the Muppet Show, and one of the hosts was John Cleese, and there was something that he did that I was like, that looks like Luke,
Oh,
but
it's
like Mr. Chicker.
it was it's the scene at the end of it's the Muppet Show, because it was one of those last night. We were kind of like, I want to watch something funny, nothing political, and so we just put that in, and we picked the John Cleese episode, and it's the part at the end where Kermit's trying to get him to sing all those songs, and it's when he turns and he just goes, he like looks at him and he's like, "That's it, I'm leaving," and he just starts to leave, and she starts going, "That makes me think of Luke," and it was
But like as Mr. Chicker.
as Mr. Chicker,
in,
yeah.
In the live, like you on stage.
So if Chicker was to be
Live.
played as a person, we could get John Cleese. Young John
Oh,
Cleese.
John Cleese. I would love that. Basil Fawlty from Towers, Monty Python. Oh, that's an honor to think of.
Right? I completely
I
agree.
think Rudd would do a good Kesmo.
All right.
Paul Rudd.
He calls
Yep.
him Rudd. They're pals.
Oh, I see.
Rudd.
Like old Paul Rudd or young Paul Rudd? There's no
There's
There's
difference.
no difference.
From Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes,
Sound like you're from London.
I can see that. Who? I don't know who would play Francis. Who would play?
Sally Field.
Sally Field.
I was thinking Diane Keaton too, but I think those two are very
Yeah,
much in the same vein.
I can see
Sally
that.
Jesse Raphael.
She just has the glasses. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Tyler, you have anybody play Spec in the live action?
I mean, my mind jumps to Danny DeVito. Why not?
With a squeaky voice.
No.
No.
No squeaky voice.
He'd still talk. He'd like gibberish.
But like
But he'd
in
have the
his
feather.
signature.
He'd be painted yellow. I just see it as he's already practiced so much from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I mean,
I just
would we
haven't
want him as Dylan instead? I think he'd make a better Dylan.
Yeah.
That's
Better
just
Dylan.
typecasting. How dare you? He has range.
He's already been a penguin, so he's got the
True.
bird.
He's got the bird down.
Fredward said Mandy Moore would be a good Francis.
He's too young.
So. Oh, okay. Well, never
She
mind.
can play Kiki. We'll have her play Kiki. Faulkenberry, who you got playing Buzzard?
I was running through my roster of limited knowledge of actors, and for the range that he would need, I would say maybe Jim Carrey.
Gary Busey. Oh, Jim Carrey.
Oh, gosh. Who gave it all?
Well, because he's evil, but he's not. He's also playful, so you need that range. So
I don't know. I don't.
Gary Busey.
Who would play? I don't know who I'd get. Who would be luckl?
you need an everyman.
Tom Holland.
Okay, that's easy.
Sure.
Well, there goes all our
There you go.
spoilers for Birdcall, the musical, the movie.
Hey, we still have to talk to agents first.
And
Sure.
this is going to be very much like Cats, where bird people.
But with beaks. That would
Hey,
be
Kelsey,
horrifying.
Someone on here, Fredward made a suggestion for Francis, and I think it's a good one. It's Mandy Moore.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Where'd you go? We said that already.
She's on.
It's okay. He was thinking of Jim Carrey at the
Oh, I see.
Oh, okay. I was distracted.
time.
Or as I know him from In Living Color, James Carey. So
Classic.
formal,
James.
Mr. Carey.
Right. We do have one from Alexander. Do you guys get together to role play your characters to come up with a script? Is it a group, or are you bonded to the character like the actor?
We did an exercise one time, or a few times, like before rehearsal, to kind of get into character, where we would talk to each other in character to kind of build that
Rapport.
backstory, and just to kind of help you jump into who you are, so that when you go and do the show, all your interactions on stage are natural, and it feels like, what would my character do? I'm not talking right now. I'm just on stage. What would I be doing? That kind of thing. But we've never like sat around and just to come up
I
with.
don't think with the
ideas.
intent of coming up with a script or anything, but we have, I don't think role play is the right word, but so many
Speak for
things just,
yourself.
we just mess around while we're doing filmings a lot of the times,
That's
and
true.
certain bits get developed out of that. I mean, Shane's got a whole side character now that's been drummed up just because Calvin was putting together a fake call sheet or schedule for the radio station, and now there's this whole story that is just developing.
And we don't want to reveal it yet either. That's
Right.
that'll
And it was just
Because I don't even know what this is.
oh, it's great. It just came from Shane and I looking at the schedule, going, "What are these? These
Yeah.
are great."
But I think because we're all so close as friends, and just proximity, because we all kind of work in the same field and together. We're just always talking, so I feel like a lot of ideas just come from that naturally.
True. Oh, sorry. Julie says a young Vincent Price for Buzzard, by the way.
What about for Poe though?
Is that not Poe?
Right.
Before he made Edward Scissorhands.
Mm.
Um,
It's Wax Museum of Vincent Price.
we do have a question from I think it's Liza Campbell. Oh, Lisa Campbell.
Oh,
Tyler, do you know this?
familiar.
Tyler, do you know this lady?
Huh.
I vaguely.
Yeah. It says
Yeah.
Lachlan, who's like Birdcall's biggest fan, would like to know if there are any new characters in the making, and if so, can he audition? Tyler, take it away.
I mean, Spec's got a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, so we need someone to play Moat.
That's true. There you go. He can just.
Is that
play-
Birdcall canon or Birdcall legend?
Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Will you? This is from Andrew. Will you create another live adaptation of classical literature? Yes, we will. There's a bunch of things on the books. Is there anything like just between us? Like, is there anything that you all have ever thought of? Oh, we should do an adaptation of XYZ.
Well, I know what you and I have already talked about, but I don't want to spoil it.
Like classic literature.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will think on that.
Yeah.
Like, everybody can think on that.
This will be our next brainstorming session.
That's true. Yes.
War and Peace, Economy, Les Mis,
I was just gonna say Les
Les
Mis.
Mis.
anything that's over multiple thousands of pages.
I'd like to see the Three Musketeers, honestly.
Oh, I've never
That
thought
could
of
be
that
fun.
one. That would be
One of
fun.
my favorite books.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
know.
idea, though.
I know for sure that we're putting something together for Halloween with literature and Edgar Allan Poe.
Ooh.
So that's gonna be
Oh,
really fun. We'll when that hopefully it'll happen with the way of the world right Is there a country you would want to film an episode of Birdcall in?
Well, we're already going to Scotland and
It's
England,
true.
so.
I mean, they already said they're paying our way, so.
And anyone who wasn't tuned in before, that was a joke.
No, let's make that go viral. Go to our Venmo at Birdcall Radio. Send us the monies. I know I would love to take. I mean, I have some ideas that I've always talked about as going to Japan.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. That would be really fun.
Yeah,
Big fan of
because
Japan. I love it.
luckl, he is a bird who does the radio jingles like for commercials and stuff. How funny would it be to do like a Japanese? I mean, we've already kind of.
Kawaii.
Yeah.
I've already got the artwork for it.
You got it right here.
Oh yeah, it's my mouse pad actually. It's
That's
the luckl-duckl bird bat sense.
But
konnichiwa.
It's a mouse pad as well.
Okay.
there's a Japanese.
I can available in Japan.
Is there a country, Tyler, you would want us to we should go film in?
I think we need to go to Australia and find a cassowary
And a kookaburra.
And then run for our lives.
and a kookaburra. Yes, just it'd be great.
Right.
I want
We'll
it
go
to
to New
happen.
Zealand, and they're healthy there. We'll go to New Zealand and meet some kiwi birds.
Faulkenberry.
Atlas Marauder.
Oh, that's a tough question. Let's go to Mexico.
Oh.
Tacos.
Tacos for friends.
Oh, we do actually, Mr. Chicker.
Yeah.
We can take him to Mexico and fight him.
Oh my god.
That's how they learn the secret.
I
Your
mean,
secret
yeah.
double life.
Chicken fight.
I
Yep.
mean that could be coming up soon, but I don't want to say anything else. Luke, what country would you want to go to?
Alaska.
That's what I knew. I knew
The country of
the
Alaska.
great country of Alaska.
Alaska. No. I mean, you said I would love to take a trip to the UK or Japan or New Zealand or anywhere, actually. It'd be
It's
fun.
true. I think
Who just wants to go?
right.
Yep.
I'm the same.
Let's just go. I have a suitcase literally right in front of me. Let's go.
Always pre-prepared. Shane, do you have a country we should?
Nothing that hasn't already been said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think we head over to Germany, do Oktoberfest for the bird call one time. I think it'd be great.
Ooh,
Awesome.
das ist gut.
Birds on tour. Let's
Birds
get
on
that
tour.
grant. Julie made the suggestion that we should do the Raven.
Don't talk about anything else.
She did.
We don't want-
She posted it.
We already got things. I don't want to ruin anything.
And Matt said it would be a good idea.
Well, it is a good idea. It's happening. You spoiled it, Julie.
Oh.
Well, I don't get to see
Spoilers.
Julie. I don't get to see Julie and give her a hard time. So
You
virtually,
can't trust Julie with anything.
virtually, this is the only way I can do it.
Don't make her feel bad.
I'm not making her
Do
feel
it.
bad.
Love you, Julie. Well, I mean,
Or maybe she didn't know.
we're a show about birds, and you said we're going to be Edgar Allan Poe. Put two and two together.
We're not.
No,
doing-
You don't have to. You don't have to be from the country of Alaska. We're about to do.
I love it. Let's see.
Will Birdcall do?
Will Birdcall do It's a Wonderful Life?
Did my dad ask this question?
No.
No. Well,
It's a wonderful flight.
Well, what'd you say?
It's a wonderful flight.
There you go.
Flight.
Genius.
Just the end of an airplane ride. That was wonderful. And that's
Everyone just clapped.
and everyone clap. Oh, I hate when people clap. You know. I don't know.
But my dad would love it. It's his favorite movie. So.
I don't know if we do a direct like parody like we did Christmas Carol. If
You would have
anything-
to change it a little bit because of probably the legal stuff.
Well, I think just not even that, but just story wise, I think it could work, but I don't know. Julie says it's not rocket science. We know, Julie. Jules. Yeah, I don't know about Wonderful Life though.
It's puppeteering, Julie. That's
She's a feet peeps. She knows what's up. I can't answer this. Can Birdcall do classic fairy tales or nursery rhymes? Yes, we do have something planned for that as well next year. They do a whole pageant of old fairy tales. I won't say which ones, but Julie, don't you dare start texting
Calvin!
me. Don't you text me, Julie,
The Raven.
about Goldie Box and the Three Birds. Shh. That's I think that's one of them actually. Are there any more episodes of Human Squawk?
Well, we've been chatting on.
Well, Human Squawk, sorry, is the birds talking to kids about human stuff. So that we did a bunch of those. If people didn't know that.
Yeah, and we've been doing some Zoom chats with some tiny humans. And we will probably, I know, tiny humans, and we'll be posting
Very small.
some of those interactions have been really, really cute, really fun. Yes, so not technically, they're not on the books because obviously we can't come into contact with people in real life, but yeah, if anybody with some kiddos out there wants to chat with the birdies, you can email Birdcall and we can set up a Zoom time and we can change up your daily routine and you can yeah, chat with the birdies. That was an unexpected plug.
When will Birdcall the musical come to Broadway in New York City?
And they pay for it.
Exactly.
When they reopen. We're taking over the theater that Frozen just vacated.
Yes.
We're going to
If we
buy.
just show up, we have squatters' rights, right?
Yeah.
That's how that works?
How that
We
works.
have squawkers' rights.
Ah,
Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. You've been wonderful on here. Tip your waitresses.
I like that. That's good. That's good. Julie liked it too. Look
Oh,
at that.
thank God.
Julie liked
Finally,
it.
validation.
Some validation. There you go. I need to change my routine. Yeah. Yes, we can actually do that. So something fun I do because I think that was all the questions sent in from Instagram and Twitter that we sifted through. But something fun, and we'll announce it formally again on Instagram. I think after we're done here, is that on May 22nd, which is this coming Friday, Birdcall the Musical will be released for the first time in its entirety on YouTube. It'll be the performance from last April from our last show, and it'll be up for a limited time. It'll be up, I know that, but it'll be there. So if you're watching, tell your friends, tell your family. We're going to be showing.
Is there a premiere time?
I think it's 7. I'll have to check again. I just remember the date. This time.
What time is that in Alaska?
I want to say maybe 3 or 4.
Alaska Standard.
Yeah, Alaska
Time.
Standard Time. I think
Alaska
so.
Whatever the sun goes down and or up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which is sometimes like never.
Yeah, true. You never know
Well,
at this point.
Limited time. You get 6
cannot
months.
wait.
Who?
Ben.
Oh, Benjamin. I was like, who's Benjamin? Oh, Benjamin.
I said it.
I see.
Fredward's excited. Oh, Matt's excited.
Oh, good.
Everybody's excited.
Yeah. Oh, yes, because he's in the UK, so I have to stay up late again to watch the premiere.
I'll watch it.
Yes, it'll be great. Yeah, it's cool because I think so. The way it's being done is the birds are going to be doing a watch party, and then they will release the show. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. And then I think you can live comment as it premieres, and we'll be on talking through the chat with everybody. So that'll be fun. And just like for people to see it, because I know a lot of people around the country would message me and say, "Are you all touring?" And I'm like, "Love to, but we can't, unless somebody wants to pay for the tour." So this will be a great chance to get people to see it. And yeah, I think there's like a date of how long it'll be on YouTube for now. So that'll be fun. I'm excited.
Check it out.
Watch it while you can.
Yeah.
Okay. And say only nice things about Mr. Chicker.
I hear he's got some really nice legs.
He does have those nice chicken legs, I will say. I agree.
He cannot handle criticism.
Nope. has a very thin skin.
He's a
It's,
yes.
You know,
Crispy.
original recipe, but it's a very thin skin.
True. Kelsey, do you want to plug anything else for the bird call stuff?
Like what we're working on now?
Yeah.
Or, well, we've been posting a lot of videos that we've been working on in the quarantine, so you can go check those out. We just did a 48-hour film festival a couple weeks ago, and it's already been posted, so we ended up kind of tweaking to make it exactly what we wanted, and then we posted it on our YouTube. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun exercise in creativity and resourcefulness, as 48-hour projects seem to be. But yeah, and what else? We posted the Birdie Bunch. We already talked about that one. And
That was fun.
I don't know, just trying to put content out there, trying to keep people happy and distracted, and yeah.
Shane, anything you're working on? You wanna plug? You wanna talk? Your TikTok?
Only thing I'm working on right now is a lot of TikTok. So that's Mr. Stitches, Mr. MISTER _ Stitches. If you like cute, adorable, fluffy puppets, I got them.
Just built a new one today, and she's the cutest thing I've ever seen. So.
Is it the blue? Is it blue?
Yeah, that's her.
Because I saw a picture of like the drawing you did, and he's like holding the hands, and I was like, I don't know what character that is. So you were doing some foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
I was having fun with it.
Luke, anything with you going on? Like you got some.
Well,
You've been watching.
the only thing I've been doing is growing my hair out. And that's the only thing. No, I don't have anything to plug, but I just want to just send a little thanks out to all the fans that have stuck with us through all the years, because there's no reason to do this without people tuning into stuff like this Zoom, and sending in your questions and everything like that. So thank you. It's been a fun time entertaining you all, and we hope that all the videos that we've been putting out in this weird time have been putting a smile on your face for a little bit, because it put a smile on my face. So
Yeah.
why not? What else are we supposed to do except for laugh?
That is true. Mr. Mr. Faulkenberry, you got anything? Any closing words?
Yeah, nothing. I got nothing to plug. I just say, hang in there.
There you go.
We got this.
I agree. Mr. Tyler?
I mean, Luke summed it up so perfectly. That was
agree.
great.
I agree.
I got nothing to tack on to that.
Yeah. Kels, anything? Yeah. Again, one Brady lady on TikTok. Go watch her. Yeah, and I was gonna say, just when we post videos and stuff, please feel free to share them. Let everybody know, get the word out. It's funny because during the quarantine, everybody's at home, kind of stuck. So we'd love to be able to share our stuff with you. But thanks everybody for watching.
And Shane's got a live puppet.
Shane's got a live puppet behind him. Yeah, Stella, the wonder dog.
Puppy. It's very close. I understand the difference.
She's like, I don't want to be on camera. She's camera shy. Cool. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll probably do one of these again sometime soon. This was fun. So, and if you love us, then share us, and we'll see you guys after all of this is done.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Alaska.